Over the years, I've come to see a phenomenon in humans called clever stupid. Some people can be super intelligent in one area of life and equally stupid in another. And recently I've been exploring a philosophy that suggests that life itself is the ultimate in clever stupid. So for example, the body is an amazing piece of technology, but there are aspects of it that are stupid, like the fact that cancer can easily grow inside the body and destroy it. So if life itself is clever stupid, it's no wonder that we are too. And I need to start with myself. I've come to realize, with the help of my children, that I really know next to nothing about everything. I've read relatively few books in my life, and I understand very little about psychology, philosophy, science, politics, law, economics, music, other than the tiny niche of my business, and almost everything else. And my recent court case is a great example of clever stupid. As many of you know, I was outside Liverpool Street McDonald's and was talking about how milk is produced. I was happy with my performance, but as fate would have it, an ignorant British Transport police officer and an unhinged bystander conspired to criminalise me, and it ended up in court. The first questionable decision was, as usual, influenced by my ego. I could have paid a fine which required me to go into the police station, and I refused to do that because I felt they had already harassed me enough. So it went to court. But that was a small stupidity compared to what I'm about to share. The original case was to be heard in May at Hendon Magistrates Court. I publicised it and 7 people turned up, including my brother and wife. One of the spectators took it upon himself to start advising me. Although he didn't claim he was a free man on the land, he was using similar arguments. He got me to ask the judge who my accuser was, and eventually she said, "The Queen," to which he got me to demand that she attend. My brother and wife were not impressed with this guy, but I fell for it. He definitely knew some stuff and had done plenty of research. I actually think that most of what he said made sense, but was it going to work? For some reason that I don't really understand fully yet, I chose to put him on a pedestal and let myself be guided by him. He was a charming man, and he persuaded me to write 5 notices in handwriting to the court and CPS. I wrote word for word what he dictated. I wrote, "I wish to see whose case I have to answer and require my accuser to be present at court to honour that ancient custom. I require name and address of said accuser for court records." And then there was another notice. "Danny Shine, present before court as man, is not the member of legal society and does not understand the nature of the cases before court. And, as confirmed in open court on the 30th day of May by Judge Moffat, there is no breach of the peace, no harm, injury, no damages that Danny Shine (man) can answer. I say here and will verify in open court all herein to be true. Judicial notice mistrial," this was another one. "Court does err by way of partial court. Elizabeth Windsor, the Queen, sits as judge via district judge and as prosecutor via CPS, the Crown, as confirmed in open court by Judge Moffat. Right to a fair trial, right to an impartial judiciary, (CF infringement, open brackets, in contravention of Article 6 of European Convention on Human Rights, 123. Danny Shine requires the judiciary performs as per the judicial oath of office, open brackets, writ of mandamus, judicial oath, signed." During the course of the month after the trial was adjourned, we spoke a lot, and I asked several times what success he had helping others in law cases. He mentioned only one case, and the guy ended up in prison, and yet I was still stupid enough to put him on a pedestal and do exactly what he suggested. In my defence, he was convincing, helpful, and very charming. When it came to the court hearing, I interjected, pointing out to the judge about the notices. I read the one about the accuser, and she just dismissed it. The clerk asked me if I was a citizen in the UK, and the district judge ignored the other notices. And as you know, I was found guilty. I'll go into more detail about the case in another video. I appealed and have a hearing on the 11th of October. If you want to come along, message me. I'm not just inviting anyone this time. When I went to the preliminary hearing, The judge was very sympathetic towards me and gave the prosecution a bit of a dressing down about the conviction. This is the hearing for the appeal. But when I started going on about facing my accuser, he said that if I go down that line, it will not be met well by the judge, and that I have a strong case without it. When my new friend spoke briefly to the prosecutor in the case, the prosecutor looked at him as if he was mad. There was and is so much clever stupid going on here. I want to touch on what I see. First, you have Mr. Freeman friend, clearly very bright and got some serious knowledge about law, with some huge gaps, and about ethics, and yet it is as if he has no street awareness. He's stupid as he can't put himself in the shoes of a judge or prosecutor. It's like a chess game, and he is awful at chess because he can't predict what his opponent will do next. Even if what he says is accurate, a judge who has been indoctrinated into the legal system for 20 years or more isn't just going to say, "Oh yes, you're right, Danny. It's unfair because the Queen is prosecuting and judging. Case dismissed." Quite the opposite. The more accurate the objection, the more likely the judge will feel the need to convict, to scare off other people trying the same tricks. And I suspect that is what happened in my case. The witness was appalling and the legal arguments ridiculous, but she may have felt that she had no choice but to convict. If this is what was going on, in a way I think she did the right thing. Because if she would have found me not guilty, I may have spread the word and got others to make the same foolish moves. Now this man wasn't the only one displaying clever stupid. My stupidity still surprises me. I can't believe I was taking advice from someone who'd helped another get imprisoned. And that I didn't really consult my brother, wife and mentor, even though they would all have had plenty of useful things to say. So I got there, wrote this great speech, asked some good questions to the witness. But I had already made 2 stupid errors. Then there is, of course, the stupid/clever behaviour and thinking by those that work in the system. The judge is a great example. She's obviously very bright in terms of her understanding and playing with words. And yet, in my view, she's stupid when it comes to ethics and morals. As a very successful barrister friend of mine recently said, we're all just bullshit artists. So, having been reminded how stupid I can be, are you questioning everything I say, or are you following the blind?